Welcome to Real Estate AI Flash, the show where we cut through the noise and show you how real estate agents are using AI to win. I'm Rajeev Sajja, and every week I talk with people who are actually doing the work, not just talking about it. Today's guest is Chuck Bachteler out of Clearwater, Florida. He's using AI to outsmart the competition with smarter pricing, sharper social, and standout presentations. Let's get to it with Chuck. Well, welcome to a special episode of Real Estate AI Flash. And the reason it's special is because I'm actually in a podcast studio today for the first time. Hopefully this is a trend. And I have Chuck Bachteler. Hopefully I didn't butcher your last name there, Chuck. From Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Florida Properties Group in Clearwater, Florida, part of the Sand and Key team. Chuck, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me today.
Yeah, absolutely. You come highly recommended, from your president, Casey Bryan. And as you know, our purpose of the podcast is to make real estate and AI approachable and actionable for all professionals. So I'm sure we'll get into it, but I'd love for the listening audience to get to know you, Chuck. I know you said you have a German background or descent last name.
Well,
it's so start wherever you want to start and bring us to today.
I'm hearing a little bit of echo, but I'm going to go right into it. So I started real estate in Tampa Bay in 2017, and currently with Berkshire Hathaway Florida Properties Group, Sand and Key team. My background was corporate. I did distribution strategy for Verizon Wireless for a number of years. I was with them 25 years. And I did some commercial real estate for them, and I basically looked for dirt.
Oh wow!
So that's kind of my background. I also had a team of 14, so I ran a sales team and I ran a distribution team to put new stores in. So that was my commercial background.
So from that 25 years at Verizon, what made you get into real estate?
Because I'd been doing it with them. And I knew I wanted it. I always had a passion for it.
Yeah.
I had bought a couple of single family houses. I redid those houses, put my family members in them. And that was kind of my first approach.
Yeah, it was a natural transition, if you will, right? Because you were in more.
What it was. It gave the corporate background gave me the ability to do what I do today.
Yeah, for sure.
And help customers.
Yeah. So since it's an AI podcast, I'd love for you to share, what was your first sort of like aha or light bulb moment with AI in real estate?
It was the first time I used ChatGPT, especially write like a listing description.
Yeah.
So you labor an hour trying to figure out what to add into a listing description. And it was very, very tough. So, 45 minutes wordsmithing. And then I realized that you could do it by AI. And I also realized that AI wasn't going to replace agents, but it was going to enhance what we do. Sure. It was more about, replacing inefficiency.
Yeah. So I think most of our listeners, especially if you're an agent, you've definitely tried listing descriptions early on with ChatGPT. And it seems to be the bane of most agents' existence. They're not good copywriters. It is not their strength, right? To your point, building efficiency. So let's kind of dive into specific use cases, Chuck, that you are leveraging AI. Where are you seeing the most productivity enhancements or collapsing time? Where do you want to start?
Well, first, for the audience, I'm just a regular agent. I'm not a superstar. I don't claim to be a superstar. I'm using AI to help me manage efficiency within the business and make me a better agent. And what I mean by that is, like, if I do listing marketing, I use AI basically for everything. I do, you're probably familiar with Gamma, right?
Sure.
So if I have a ChatGPT or Perplexity and I use those tools, I'll put that into Gamma, and then Gamma will give me a whole presentation within minutes.
Yeah, Gamma, for the listening audience, if you're not familiar, is the kick-ass AI presentation tool. And we've had a few guests talk about Gamma. We'll put a link to it in the show notes, but go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, so I use it for that. I also use it for lead nurturing tools like Structurally, ChatGPT, and I craft personalization follow-ups and prescripts.
Interesting.
You
So
know,
could we double click on the structurally thing? Just talk to the process in nurture, stages of nurture, where AI works and where it doesn't. Don't mind.
well, so I use structurally, and I also use not home light, but can't think of the name of the other program now.
HomeBot?
Homebot I use as well. But there's a lot of programs out there, and I would say to the audience, don't get caught up in all of them. Get one and use it efficiently, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, that's definitely good advice.
Because
You know, there's a lot of FOMO in AI right now, right? The whole world, there's a lot of FOMO. Am I
yeah,
missing out? So I
right.
think your advice is really good in terms of focusing on the few. The few will lead you to more, and go deep versus going wide, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that. And then I could use Claude for pricing models
Mm.
is another one. And CMA, I even use Chat and Perplexity for pricing.
Yeah, no, I look, they have access to the internet, right? So it's about your prompting and making sure you keep
Yeah.
human in the loop and actually study what the output, because it
Yeah.
could hallucinate. I've always said AI can lie with confidence if you don't know what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? Don't take what its output as be all end all. You have to curate it. Why Claude over ChatGPT? If you might want to just kind of
It,
dig into that.
it's it's just different. Claude is just different. It's kind of like Gronk as well, right? And
Yeah,
it's they're all different, but you really have to be a master of prompts for them to give the output that you need to get the task done.
yeah. You know, I
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So I think prompt engineering, I think the concept of prompt engineering is interesting because I think that is, in my mind, at the time of this recording, it is a clear strategic advantage if you know how to write good prompts, right?
Yes.
And people are publishing prompt books and like all that stuff, but you got to learn the foundations. And we do an AI mastermind, Chuck, that I do every other week for agents, and we'll put a link in the show notes for it, but also a playbook that teaches you how to learn prompt engineering. And that's not a technical term, that's a natural conversation
Right.
term, right? So we talk about 4P and rise because there's three types of outputs now with AI. Initially it was just text to text, but now there's text to image and text to video, right? So
Yeah.
there's several layers of prompt engineering that if you learn that, that is a clear strategic advantage. But good takeaways there. You want to dig
Yeah.
into that a little bit
One of
more?
the things that I did, I'll share with the audience, is I came up with 7 prompts
Mm,
for maximizing pricing models. And I put that into a Word document. And then I take each one of those prompts and I go ahead and I make sure that I go into RPR. You familiar with
sure,
RPR?
yeah. Realtor
So
property
I'll go
resource
into
from now.
RPR and I'll do a property um, model. I'll do a neighborhood model and I'll do a market model.
Yeah.
So I'll download those reports. I'll put those aside. I'll upload those into ChatGPT or Perplexity. And then what I do from there is I insert my first prompt. And it's gonna output something, some number. Here's what the neighborhood's doing, days on market, pricing, um, any of the metrics. But I don't stop at the first prompt. I keep going. And when I'm at the 7th prompt, I typically come up with the number.
Oh wow. Okay. Do you mind
And
sharing those prompts if you're okay with it?
I will send them to you.
Yeah,
I
we'll include it
will
in the show
be
notes.
happy to do that.
So an interesting takeaway. NAR RPR is available for all realtors.
Yes.
Part of your NAR dues, and
Hmm.
you're talking about the property report, the neighborhood report, and the market report. They're all
Correct.
PDFs, right?
Correct.
A good thing for the audience to know is I have learned there's no easy way out of this yet. I'm sure in the large language model space, which is if there's a nice visual chart in a PDF,
Hmm.
AI
Hmm.
struggles to read the data in the chart. I've gotten better success at getting like Word docs and CSVs from chart data
Hmm.
to augment it. But just be aware if you're going to use charts that are embedded in PDFs, don't expect AI to completely understand and read the numbers, But your point is well taken. That's where the human in the loop comes in,
Well, yeah, so I do old school first.
Yeah,
I
for
pull
sure.
those reports,
Yeah,
then I match it up against ChatGPT or Perplexity, and I combine the information to come up with my number. I don't rely just on Chat or Perplexity just to give me a listing price,
yeah,
but a combination of both really helped me identify what the price should be based on all the data that I'm inputting into Chat. And Chat and Perplexity is only going to be as good as what your prompts are and what the numbers are, what
yeah,
the information is. It's really
yeah.
important to understand that.
Smart strategy. So pricing strategy is a key takeaway for the listening audience, in terms of how you price properties, leveraging the NAR data, your old
Yeah.
school stuff, as well as the prompts that we're going to put in the show notes. What's the second one that you're digging into, Chuck?
Well, social and branding,
Yeah.
especially with Canva.
Oh yeah.
We use Canva a lot. People can go out to my social media and they can see what I'm doing with social media and Canva. We have 3 accounts. I think that's too many. So I have a business page, I have a personal page, I have a team page, and I'm really trying to combine that and really refine it. And we have an assistant that helps us with that, Andrea, to put that information out there. But you can't be everything to everybody either, right? So you really have to hone in and really go after the market that you're going after.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, makes sense. And I think Canva is a good tool as well to get to know, because I think all of these really state of the art tools, whether it's your CRM, Canva, Adobe, all of them have AI coming into their tools. So AI is coming a lot closer to the tools we're already using outside of the large language models, which is ChatGPT, etc. So are you leveraging AI features within Canva as well?
I am. I'm
Yeah.
also doing CapCut too. CapCut has a little AI built into it now. I mean, everything we use today has AI built in.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know,
So,
It- it's
how are you using CapCut? Talk to me about that a little bit.
so CapCut it's quick video, right? If I'm out somewhere, I can do something, or if I'm out on the water, I can do something on waterfront properties, and I can use CapCut. It's easy. You can use it on a desktop. You can use it on your phone. It gives you tons of ways to edit that and put it out to the marketplace.
Yeah, CapCut's a given tool. Like I also recommend Captions. Have you heard of Captions AI?
I have heard of captions.
Yeah,
Yes.
Captions is really good
Yep.
for converting your short videos into different languages, slicing
Yeah.
and dicing stuff, which there's some overlap with CapCut, but Captions
Yeah.
stands on its own. It's like dirt cheap. If you're going to get into video, Captions is like a no-brainer.
Also, Descript.
Oh yeah, Descript. Yeah, there's some overlap with some of these tools. I mean, if you're a
Yeah.
podcaster, Descript is great for that kind of stuff, slicing and dicing. I use Opus Pro a lot
Uh-huh.
for taking
Hmm.
long form to short form content.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll find one tool that does all of it. You almost need to say, okay, here's what I need to do, here's what I want to do, and then identify the right tool and keep
Right.
your AI tech stack, which I'm going to get to with you because you're shooting off a few tools. I want to kind of identify Chuck's AI tech stack before we're done. So, okay,
Yeah.
so we talked about pricing, then we talked about market, social, and brand. What else are you using AI for?
I mean, that's really it. I mean, I don't overdo it. I'm not an influencer out there all the time, and I don't have time to do that, right? I mean, you could go crazy. You could spend all day, you could spend an afternoon just on doing pricing.
I suppose you could.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah.
You
How
know,
about
I
how
follow
about
Jason Pantana, not to interrupt you, but I
yeah,
follow Jason Pantana. Jimmy Burgess. I mean, I
yeah, for
follow
sure.
him. He just did a whole, I think, an hour long podcast on AI so it was Jimmy Burgess and Jason Pantana, and Jimmy's from Berkshire Hathaway family, so
Sure.
they did a very good job. It's an hour long, but it's very in depth about all the AI programs. It's almost too much information. Again, I would just say to the audience, pick one or two, learn them, get good at them, and then move on to others, even the video, because it's nuts. I mean, you it'll confuse you, you'll give up, you'll get frustrated and give up.
I think there's a lot of people that listen to this podcast that are early in the stage of understanding and using AI. And the more you can not be overwhelmed, so I call it overcome the overwhelm. So
Yeah.
focus more than FOMO. Nobody's missing out here. But if you stay in the same spot this time next year with your adoption of AI, I think you're going to fall behind. right? So you got to start small, clear the
Right.
noise, and just focus on basic things like what takes up your time in your work, right? Like your point. If it took you, I talked to an agent the other day that said it took me 4 hours to do certain thing. Now I can do it in 40 minutes.
That's right.
That's the kind of collapsing time. You need to find those cases of what you're doing now with your work. So that's great takeaways. Are you using it for business planning, Chuck?
Well, so I was a Tom Ferry coaching
Yeah.
student. So I have a nice business plan. We just following up on our mid-year to find out where we are today compared to last year and where we're going to go to finish the end of the year. I'm very competitive, so that means a lot to me. Um, so the business planning, I don't leave it up to AI. I mean, there's an AI component to it, but I'm old school when it comes to the numbers and commissions and the listings and what do I need to do to hit the goal. A lot of that I don't give up just to AI. I need to know those numbers because if my broker or the owners of the brokerage come to me or Casey comes to me and says, "Where are you at the?" I don't want an AI number. I want a Chuck number,
Sure, sure. I think a
you
great
know?
way to think about this is not definitely not outsource your business planning to AI, but let's say you come up with your business plan. I have uploaded it to AI and say, you are a top 1% real estate coach, in your case, let's just say,
Yeah.
results driven
Yeah.
coach. And I want you to review my business plan, call out the strengths and the weaknesses in my business plan, and ask me critical questions that I may have missed
Right.
in gaps, identifying gaps. I think using it as a thought partner has gotten me filling those gaps that I may not have think on my own. So I think it's using it as a second brain is a great way to think about business planning.
I agree with you. The
Right.
other thing is if you're falling short and
Yeah.
you have houses out there that are not selling,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you followed, there's another gal up in Atlanta I follow. She has 21 listings that are sitting there, 21 listings that are just sitting there. So what I do if I have a listing that's on the market 60 days or so, I'll go in to say, who is the buyer for this house?
Yeah.
And who do I market to sell this listing? And it gives me a great deal of insight on who to market that house to, social media, and then just general email using MailChimp
Yeah.
or it's very useful for that.
So once you find those buyer personas, I call it for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
right? Certain types of buyers for a listing that's been on the market for a while. How do you take that data and make it actionable? Like, what do you do on social or your CRM or MailChimp, for example?
So we recently had a house that we staged. It's in Palm Harbor, Florida. We staged it. We came up with a very competitive number using AI, using ChatGPT and old school. This house we thought we could sell between 785 and 800. And the owner came to me basically 2 days before the listing went live. And he said, "Chuck, what's it going to sell to sell my house quickly?"
Mm.
And I said, "The number's going to be $750,000." And he said, "List it for 750." And we had a contract in 6 days and multiple offers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the market, that's great, great
So
example there, by the way. Yeah, so I think the market is,
you just,
seller pricing is interesting, right, Chuck? Now, I think there's a lot more
yeah,
price reductions happening because of the inventory, especially in Florida, from what I hear, right? There's a lot more inventory on
very
the
much so.
market. And so pricing it correctly, if you do it, it still moves. The problem is sellers' expectations have to adjust with market demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a great takeaway. Anything else on AI before I get to my final two questions? I ask all my podcast
No,
listeners.
I would just say to the audience is like, listen, you got to start small, bite-sized pieces. I'm like everybody else probably listening to this podcast. It's like this gushing water coming out of a big fire hose and you're trying to absorb it and you're trying to do it all. And I would say you got to stop and really just bite-sized pieces. Listen to all the experts, but remember that they're out there selling a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You can go broke very quickly. I would say get a portfolio of ChatGPT, Perplexity, CapCut, Descript, Instagram, TikTok. You get your niche and focus on those things only and let her rip,
Yeah, great advice. I think I was going to get
you
to
know?
your AI tech stack, but you already covered it, and then you add Gamma to that, obviously, right, for presentations,
Yes.
right? So cool. This has been fun, Chuck. I mean, I appreciate you taking the time. So I want to ask you a couple of questions before we let you go.
Yes.
So you've been in real estate what since 2017, isn't it?
Yeah. 8 years. 8 years
8 years.
selling
Okay.
residential.
Residential, and
Yeah.
then you did commercial before that with Verizon for a long time.
Yes.
If you were starting in business today,
Yeah.
knowing what you know, what is the advice you'd give your younger self?
My advice to the younger self is start off small. Um, Learn how to market yourself digitally.
Mm.
I would say that don't be afraid to pick up the camera. Everybody is. I still am. And just go and try it and do very short videos to start and then lean into it. And the more you do it, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the more you get comfortable. And then you generate an audience and do it on a couple of platforms. I know a lot of agents are using Instagram and TikTok exclusively, not so much Facebook anymore,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think all the videos now are vertical. No matter which platform you look at, they're also
Yeah.
vertical videos, short videos. Because I think we live in a attention or lack of attention economy. So the video's got to be short, right? That's good advice.
Yes.
So the final question I have for you is, I don't know if you're a book or a podcast person, Chuck. Um, do you have a preference of how you consume learning?
I do a lot of audiobooks.
Okay, audiobooks. So
Yeah,
has there been
a lot of
one that,
YouTube.
oh, okay, good. Has there been one book or a podcast or even a YouTube video that has deeply impacted you positively in your career?
One of the books. I'm part of a mastermind group led up by Guy Elazar over in Tampa, and we read the book called The Agent Edge.
Agent Edge. Who's the author on that?
I can't remember his name.
It's okay. We'll find it. We'll put it in the
Yeah,
show notes
it's
for
called
the
The Agent
audience.
Edge. But the premise of the book is just take care of the customer.
Mm.
He started off small. He didn't have a farm. He was just a regular person trying to make his name in the business, farm very well, doesn't put his face on anything. He just markets the property. In fact, when he goes to a listing appointment, he says to his client, I'm marketing your property, not me. And he's changed a little bit. Then he got his first big break and he had a celebrity, and it just took off from there. The book is awesome because it goes through all the steps a regular real estate agent has to go through to get to be successful in a very simplistic manner. And if you follow the steps in the process, kind of like AI, like build your chats, build the platform, build the process for you to be successful in building ChatGPT and the rest, and you'll be fine.
That's great.
It's
Great
a
advice.
process.
Yeah, for sure. It's a process. I mean, we're all on our own journey, right? You're on a journey to learn. I'm on a journey to
Right.
learn. And I think as long as you stay curious, I think you'll be fine, right? Anytime. And I tell agents, just put a little post-it note on your computer and say, whenever you sit in front of a computer, it should ask you, can AI help me with this? And you'll be curious. Sometimes it will. Sometimes it'll fall flat on its face, but you will discover areas that you can ingest AI. So, Chuck, this has been fun. I'm glad we connected, and I'm glad I got you to spend a few minutes with me on the pod. And thank you for
You're
your time,
welcome.
and I hope to see you sometime real soon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.